Mr. Neil, I told you on the phone, I was like loving the puzzle. This is probably one of the funnest kitchen saves, kitchen remodels, kitchen salvages I've ever done because of the big challenge. So here we go. If you've watched any of my videos, I always use a circle just to denote my most current favorite design. Like I blocked your existing condition, right? Like this is the layout. So let's start with where we're at. So the goal is to get away from this 1990s, 1999 kitchen layout. The entry is a big 18-foot high ceiling. So let's look at it. You know, when you come into the house, right when you walk in the door, you have this beautiful, like, the entry's fine. You got this arch. The arch looks at an old dining room. Nobody does two sitting areas, right? Dining areas are out, and you have this arch, and it's dark, and you literally have a breakfast, a dining, and you have an office area. So we're willing to sacrifice this. That's what we talked about, right? So if we could kill this off, get a modern double kitchen, pantry, you know, like a chef's kitchen. This utility is so old style. What is this, right? So salvage this, do something with this. Here was the big challenge, right? This double corner. That's why I called you and said, bro, send me over the picture from outside. How in the world am I going to work with this? And what I wanted to see, I saw what I needed to see. By the way, Deborah, this was what I was working on when you called me. So I'm heading to your house in the Heights here in a little bit. But here we go. Let's get out of this and get to where we're at. Here's where I'm at. So I wanted to salvage as much of the engineering as I could. I didn't want to have to just go crazy with extra beams because those are expensive. So we're saving our beam wall, right? So let me show you what's going on here. If I save this right here and I go straight across, they line up. So this beam stays the same, but now we're able to sit a lot of chairs here, right? We can put a lot of the family here for food. So now we don't need the dedicated breakfast. So we have a big, beautiful island. Well, that's a huge chair. But right here, it's also opening up to that family area. Huge cooktop. I don't remember if you wanted a 48-inch or not, but I remember you are big into cooking, pot filler, double oven. But here's this window. Remember I told you I had an idea? And so I had to create it in 3D. Like, what if I do a real modern island, extended countertop? And there's some where the extended countertop has glass above and below, and some where you have glass shelves. So let me show you what that looks like. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I've seen it several places. Now there's a lot of these glass shelves in front of windows. Very, very nice, but it has to be aesthetics. You can't throw your cereal boxes right here. But this is okay because we've got boss level pantry now. The pantry you guys are getting is huge. So here it is rendered up. This is one option. You could also do, hey, I've got some other pictures here. I'm just going to grab this real quick on the fly. I wasn't prepared to actually use this image, but here it is. You've got some of these, like this thing here. You can put some of these in front of it, or maybe like something like this one here. Like that could go in front of the glass, right? So anyway, we had this option. I messed around with it. I love windows over countertops. This is very 2025. So then you have this other style where you're about 2.5 feet to 3 feet out. And this is, you know, high-rise style where you build a wall away from the glass. We don't have the space to work with. I used AI to generate this one, and we just didn't have the space for it. So this is why I wanted you to send the pictures over, Neil. So when you sent this over and I said, I've made it better, I could show that to you now. So as you know, if you watch my videos, the circle means my favorite. So let me go ahead and go through this. What we got is a tucked away refrigerator, standard size, 36-inch. But like I said, a boss level pantry. Everything's in here. A lot of electrical plugs. Now we're going to salvage our existing return air. And so the return air, if you look over here, is right here. We're gonna do a fur down to 8-foot ceiling in this area, so it's gonna come out the wall. Very clever. What is going on here? So you remember in the video when I went through and I was like, dude, I don't want this to feel like I didn't want to block this all off. I need this not to just be dreadful. It needs to still be impactful. So
some sort of good visual, but we got to use the space. We do have a wine as part of the household.
For the sake of a new utility room, I didn't want to block this whole wall off for the sake of a nice pantry. I was like, we got to make this a sparkle, like a room jewelry, like sparkly. Here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. It's fantastic. It's this. We're gonna wrap your archway, your existing archway, with stone or tile or something, most likely stone, and then we're gonna put a glass wall on this side, a glass wall on this side, meaning sparkly, shiny, what we call room jewelry. It's gonna look beautiful, and it can either have a door in the middle, a black framed door, but then we could either do a wood floor or existing flooring, doesn't matter what we do on the flooring, and then 18-inch bottoms. Well, I don't want to get to that yet. Basically a countertop. Yours is not going to be this big, but because of this shot right here, you guys have a little bit of a wine. You guys really do a lot of entertaining. I was like, well, let's look at that. Let's go back to the circle, and we put a little wine grotto in, and this green line represents a black and glass kind of a wine grotto, and the dashed line represents your stone arch. So your archway, we don't have to do anything with it. All we're going to do is add stone up and over, fill it in with some nice shiny glass, maybe some doors, maybe not. And that's going to now not, instead of it being an ugly thing, we're going to highlight it. You're going to have a grotto. Now we're going to have to keep this door 2/8 so that we can get the equipment in and out. The washer and dryer can come in and out. You'll have some countertop surface area, boss level pantry. Everything can go in here. You can actually put another freezer in here. You could put another refrigerator in here. You got so much space in here. It's amazing. Big, big, big. Now, here comes the turn of events. Circle represents my favorite, but on the phone call, I literally said I made it better. This is the first time I've ever had to use a double circle. I was going to shoot this whole video based on that, but look what I did. I created a coffee nook. We don't have to do anything. I love it like it is because I changed the island. None of the engineering changes. In fact, it stays better because this stays existing. That is your existing coat closet, your entry closet. Let me grab this real quick, and I'm going to bring that over here. I am in love with the improvements. So sometimes you just keep going down the design rabbit hole, and it gets better and better and better. I am so tickled that I can go with the existing engineering. Very, very little beam challenges. This is literally lining up. This is the same coat closet you have. That's not going to change. Your return air, not going to change. What we're going to do is gut that pantry. We're going to go to a 42-inch. I told you on your message I left you, you're getting a 42-inch refrigerator. And now you're going with the doorless pantry. It's not as big, but you're getting this wall. And you know, you were telling me how you felt cramped when everybody was working on Christmas and Thanksgiving and everything. Your island is huge, and this just feels luxurious. We're using space to define luxury, right? So luxury, luxury, luxury. Big, big, and open. Let me tell you how big. Let me tell you your space. Bro, 6 feet. Some of the nicest houses only go for 5 feet. I'm telling you, we could even do 5 feet if you wanted to. You could get another foot. And now you got chandeliers and pendant lights, and this is all open. This is actually, right here, this is a cut into the beam. So this beam will be replaced, but it's worth it because this opens up to that whole family room. Your grotto, this is an 18-inch base. That was a win. I wasn't using an 18-inch base on the other design, and also on this side. So now you have wine storage on this side and wine storage on this side. You still have the swing into your utility room. The pantry's a little bit smaller, but it's a doorless pantry. This is the win. This is the one I think we should go with. I'll send it over. Loved. This is probably one of my favorite ever kitchen remodels. So yeah, kitchen remodel, pantry remodel, utility room rework. Fantastic. Sending it over to you now, buddy. Talk to you soon. Bye.